Hi, my name is Dara. I have a Facebook page called bullyinghurts2012. I'm doing a series of, these videos to try to help people who have been bullied. The thing that's been coming to me lately is a story of when I was in first grade. The school season had just started, and it was still kind of warm out, and I went to the neighbor's house, and we played Crack the Whip with the girl's older sister. She dropped me, and I broke my collarbone. And because of that, I had to wear these shoulder pads. And the shoulder pads remind me of what hockey players wear. They're huge, okay? And I had to wear them. And like I said, this is about 2 weeks into the school season. And there was this boy that lived down the street from me that was in my class, and he was in all my classes. And he decided to take it upon himself to tap me on the back of the shoulder to get my attention. And because I had these big shoulder pads on, I couldn't really turn because they were huge. So I'd have to turn my whole body around in order to see who it was tapping me. So at that point in time, he'd run in the other direction. So I'm constantly going in these circles because he kept tapping me and running the opposite way. Now, a broken bone takes about 6 to 8 weeks to heal. And I had to go through this for about 6 to 8 weeks. And after that stopped, well, he also tried to look up my skirt, too, which was not too nice. You know, first grade, you shouldn't have to be dealing with this, right? So because I was different, I was adopted. I found out when I was in kindergarten. In first grade, I told a few people in the entire neighborhood, they didn't understand. And the people that I went to school with were in my neighborhood. And I got picked on a lot because of it. And so the one boy did the tapping. And after that, I was getting gum in my hair every day. And it was averaging about 3 pieces of gum a day. And my mother must have gone through, I don't know how many jars of peanut butter trying to get the gum out of my hair. And at some points it was stuck in there so bad that she'd have to cut it. And I had long hair. So then I had these little choppy marks from where the kids threw the gum. Okay? This is no fun. This is no fun at all. And it got worse. You know, after the gum, they decided that wasn't good enough, so then they started throwing worms at me after it rained, which was really kind of gross. And to this day, I do not like worms. Kind of freaks me out a little bit. So anyway, it was bad. It just got continually worse. Anyway, the point of this story is, as I got older, I didn't know that this story still bothered me. I really didn't. About, I'd say 8 to 10 years ago, I was drowning. I was so far into depression, and I didn't feel like I can get out. I had postpartum depression that lingered. My best friend had died like maybe a year before, and I was in a bad marriage. And then I had issues at work too. So I was in a really bad place, and I was going to church, and I'm like, I knew I needed help. So I decided to go to church, and I went and I talked to one of the pastors up at the altar, and she's like, you know what, make an appointment to come and see me. And she does counseling. So I made the appointment to come and see her. And she asked me about my home life, and I told her I was adopted, and I told her that I was picked on and bullied from first grade to my senior year of high school. And she said, wait a minute, stop right there. Who comes to mind when you talk about this? And I didn't even know. She's like, all right, you know what, we're going to pray. So we started to pray. And when we started to pray, that's when this story came to my mind. And I'm like, okay, so now what do we do? And she says, okay, well, this person, you need to forgive them. I says, well, how am I going to forgive them? Ask God. Okay. So I prayed, and I'm like, God, let me forgive this person. And when I did that, I felt like a piece of lead was taken off of my heart. And I felt kind of relief in my heart. I'm like, okay. So then she says, and now you need to forgive yourself. And I says, well, why do I need to forgive myself? Because you've been holding on to it all these years. I said, okay, well, how do I do that? Well, you ask God. All right, so I asked God. I'm like, God, please, take this away from me. I forgive myself for holding on to these bad memories. Can you please take it off of my soul and off of my heart? And when I did that, it was like a major weight had been lifted off of my heart. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to realize how healing forgiveness really is. I wouldn't have known this unless I talked to the pastor and she told me. And I'd still be walking around with this big, chunky black heart. And now I'm walking around with this red, healthy heart that thrives and has all the blood flowing through it, and I'm a happy camper. Okay? So for the people that have been abused in their lives or are still being abused, I'm telling you right now, forgive them. It may not do anything for them. They may not even know that they hurt you. But you need to forgive them, and you need to forgive yourself for holding on to it, because when you do that, your heart is going to be released, and you'll find healing, and you'll feel better. I ask you to really take into consideration what I'm saying to you. God is the greatest healer of all. Forgive those people. Ask God to forgive them. Ask God to forgive you, and forgive yourself. Forgiveness is the key to healing your heart. I pray that you will take my advice and that you will grow in faith and grow strong and not let the bullies overtake you. Thank you for your time.